In the Canadian Rockies,
It's go, go, go all the time.
as spring heats up,
It's gonna start getting busy around here.
an emergency track fix,
It's a little tricky when you're working on the main line.
dangerous rail work,
Steel don't have mercy on skin and bones.
and a monster breakdown.
Every minute that this unit is sitting still is costing thousands of dollars.
Test the skill of the teams as they battle their way through the mountains.
This isn't just a Sunday drive, it's serious business.
Deep in the Rockies,
We gotta go.
a brutal winter has left the mountain tracks weathered and worn.
It just beats it to death. The ties split, the track gets out of gauge.
Canadian Pacific's rail repair crews urgently need to access the tracks. But so do the freight trains.
Now that the snow's gone, the crews are gonna start showing up in full force.
Yeah.
Think of the railroad as its own little ecosystem. Like in nature, everything depends on everything else to survive. We depend on the track gangs. These trains do have to be at a certain point at a certain time.
The repair crews now have just 6 weeks to replace a staggering 130 kilometers of track, while the trains keep running. It's a perfect storm.
There wasn't any indication from the incoming crew, mechanical issues or not.
No, there's not. It's just your chair leaks air.
Veteran engineer Jordy Hunter and conductor Tom Waver are settling in for a 200-kilometer long journey through the mountains.
You make your trip miserable.
Yeah, I'll be deflating. You'll see me slowly going up and down.
Jordy's chair might be uncomfortable, but their partnership isn't.
Jordy and I have been working together for about 2.5 years, on and off. Jordy's responsible for running the engines and handling the train, and I'm here to help him with anything he needs. And at the same time, I'm learning stuff from him because he's been here 6 times as long as I have.
We're on a 16,000-ton grain train. We have 3 locomotives, 2 on the head end, and I have a mid-train remote locomotive. We're moving 119 cars of grain. This train originated out of Swift Current, and it's going to the coast, and from there the grain will be loaded onto ships, and it'll go all over the world.
On board is a $5 million load of canola grain for cooking oil production. To make their delivery, Jordy and Tom must guide the mammoth 3-kilometer-long train west from the town of Field. They'll need to dodge track crews replacing more than 100 kilometers of damaged rails and navigate winding mountain passes before descending into the rail yard at Revelstoke, British Columbia. Final destination, the port of Vancouver, where dock crews will offload the canola onto a ship bound for Asia.
Things are starting to warm up.
The snow's all melting.
But high in the mountains, there's still plenty of it.
And now the spring's here, it's constant maintenance. There's always men and machinery all over the place, replacing the rail, replacing the ties that have been beat up over the last winter here, so it's going to get pretty hectic here.
Ahead of the canola train,
I'm gonna say another 7 or 8.
crew boss Bruce Moores and his 6-man team are gearing up to roll out massive new lengths of continuous welded rail.
This train, we pull the rails off.
This train is 1,850 feet. The rails itself is 1,440 feet.
Wherever the rail is worn, they drop new rail for another crew to install across every section or sub in British Columbia.
I'm the rail train supervisor for all of BC. We start off on the coast at Vancouver, and we lay all the rail for each sub. We're on the shoe swap sub, and we got 60 or 70,000 feet to go here.
In the mountains, curved track gets damaged the most by banking trains, so replacement rails are critical.
The rail train is one of the most important jobs. because you can run trains with bad bellows, you can run trains with bad ties, but you cannot run a train without steel. So you need the rail to run the railway.
To drop the rail along these curves, Bruce's crew needs a heavy-duty winch. It pulls the 33-ton rails onto a series of rollers that guide them down alongside the track. Their extreme length makes it possible to bend them around curves, but it's still a precarious process. If the weather is too hot, the rails will buckle. If it's too cold, they'll get brittle and break. Compared to straight track, it takes 3 times as many spikes to hold down curved rails to take the force from cornering trains.
And when you come to a stop, that'll be good. We are at the work site, so now we're going to start pulling the rail down. Okay, Peter, dig the hole. We dig a hole between the ties, and then we put the chain in, and we chain in the rail. Okay, work train, proceed eastward. 3 feet to tighten the chain, up to 3 miles an hour for 3 cars, over. Once the train gets going, the rail will stay with the chain, and the train will pull the rail off on the ground. Okay, work train, rail's moving, up to 5 miles an hour for a dozen. 1, 2.
It's a painstaking process where one mistake could spell disaster.
This is one of the most dangerous jobs because when the train is moving and the rail is moving, something jams up while the steel is going to bend. We see rail breaking off and shooting in the ditch. The rail's going to go somewhere because it's steel, and steel don't have mercy on skin and bones.
"100 kilometers east, high in the snow-clad Rockies.
Mountain flap, restriction is 10 miles per hour.
We're coming up to a 10 mile per hour slow right now.
10, yeah.
Jordy and Tom get a signal to slow down, but they don't know why.
Communication here is very important. We need to know what's going on at all times, so we can make a plan as to how we're going to operate the train.
Mile 119.68, north track. Signals may not be in place.
A major delay could hold up the canola delivery to the waiting ship, but until they know more, it's a frustrating crawl.
I hate driving 5 miles an hour. I don't like driving 5 miles an hour on the highway, but when it comes to slow orders on the tracks, we have to be paying attention to what's going on.
Just 40 kilometers ahead of Jordy and Tom.
Mechanical.
Hey, Bill.
Hey, Ted.
I got a locked axle for you to take care of on the North Main.
Okay.
Roadmaster Chad Deschamps races to the source of the slowdown.
We have a train with a locked axle, and it's causing congestion on the Shuswap sub. It's a big urgency to get that broken down train put away and fixed.
This broken down locomotive is stuck on the tracks.
Hey,
Bill, how you doing?
Not bad.
It's up to head mechanic Bill Barterson to figure out how to get this paralyzed 200-ton locomotive off the rails fast.
If it's too far gone, we'll get a crane in here and I'll have to lift it up off the ground.
Closing in on the rescue crew.
We just got word that there's a train ahead of us with a locked axle.
I've had lots of breakdowns on the track. Some pretty spectacular ones, too. I was working with a good friend of mine. He was working as my conductor, I was the engineer. And the whole train did a lurch, and he says, "Oh, look at that." And I looked back, and the second unit was erupted into a 50-foot fireball. And we brought the train to a stop as safely and quickly as we could. Fuel had gotten into the crankcase, I guess, and pressurized it and ignited and blew everything apart. I can officially say that I had a hand in killing a locomotive.
Jordy and Tom are headed straight for the dead locomotive.
So we'll see how this goes. We've just started out and we've already got delays.
At the breakdown site,
Basically like a flat tire.
Bill sizes up the problem.
The axle locked up, and obviously the wheel wasn't turning. The amount of friction that's created with the wheel not turning will wear out the metal, cause them a flat spot. Flat spots will damage rail. Every minute that this unit is sitting still is costing thousands of dollars.
To fix the flat, Bill taps diesel mechanic Dan Van Diest to help do some heavy lifting.
Because it has a flat spot on it, we have to put a new wheel in so it doesn't do any damage to the track. So they're rigging up all the lifting stuff. We're gonna lift the front end of the locomotive, one crane on each side, and then we'll yank this thing out of here. It's go until you get it complete and get out of the way as fast as you can.
It's a risky job hoisting a 200-ton locomotive 5 meters off the track. Bill and Dan need 2 cranes to make the lift, so the wheels can be rolled out. They'll position a 120-ton boom crane on the south side and a 120-ton excavator crane on the north. For maximum lifting power, they need to get close. They also must lift in sync from a solid footing, but that won't be easy. The excavator crane will be sitting on uneven gravel that's lower than the boom crane, so the team has to level it on blocks. Keeping the load even as they lift is key. The slightest tilt of the 200-ton engine could force a crane to collapse.
Okay, let's just try this. Let's put another tray right there. Okay, I'll see what happens here. Yeah, looks pretty good, eh?
Okay, Jake, right there. We gotta get it quite high, and then they'll drop the wheels out, drag them out, and we'll put another set under and lower the train back down. It's a little tricky. Just gotta stay vigilant, stay safe, most important thing.
We got a lot of hazards around here. We're on the cuff for time. We got 2 hours. It's a huge responsibility, and you feel stressed, but now you just keep moving forward. Get it done, get off the track without something going sideways.
In the Rocky Mountains,
How's it look?
the hoist crew is under the gun to get a broken-down engine off the tracks.
Ready?
They need to work fast, so Jordy and Tom's canola train can pass.
Stuff that runs 24 hours a day is going to eventually need repair, and sometimes it's a pretty spectacular event.
Up we go!
The cranes take the 200-ton weight.
Level. Okay, there. We level?
That's good.
I'm gonna drive forward now.
With the engine balancing 5 meters in the air, the crew hauls out the faulty 6-ton wheel set.
It has a flat spot. As you can see, it's been overheated and the wheel's been skidded on the rail.
The easiest and quickest fix is to put a dummy axle and then take it to a shop.
There it is, boys.
Next task, drag the temporary wheel set into place.
All right, I guess in we go, eh? Let's do it! Yeah!
The new dummy wheel's getting put on right now.
It's probably okay, we can come down.
As the cranes lower the engine,
That's good.
Dan and Bill need to connect the new wheels.
How are your springs sitting?
Good.
Yeah, I think mine's not quite in there.
So you're going up a bit?
Yeah, just a hair. I want to make sure the springs line up bottom and top. We'll take some of the weight off, smack it into position, and it'll tell you when it's in place. Okay.
That went really well. It's quite quick, so Now we'll get this buttoned up and get out of their way.
Unit's okay to move, they'll get set off for repairs.
We didn't hold up any trains, and they can have the north track back and continue running trains instead of dodging us.
As soon as we cleared, there's already a train coming by.
Okay, we got some guys up here.
Yeah, no, they're in the clear now. Anyway, track looks clear, eh?
Yeah.
Waving to anyone trackside that works for the company is an acknowledgement of the fact that they're there and they're doing a job to keep us all moving.
Just as Jordy and Tom get back up to speed,
8766, throw 500 gallons in all 3 units, please.
Thank you, 8766 west out.
There's our mid-train fueler.
On a clear to stop.
There to stop.
they're called off the track for a fast fuel up.
We call it the splash and dash. We don't quite have enough fuel to make it all the way to the coast, so we're stopping here in Golden.
The 3 engines powering this train can carry up to 15,000 gallons of fuel.
We don't want to sit here and fill it right to the top. It's not necessary, so we're gonna put in 500 gallons, which is all we need per locomotive, and then we're gone. This truck here is capable of filling 2 locomotives at the same time. So it's a little quick splash and dash, and we're out of here. He's just about done. We got a signal, so we better get going here.
Further down the line from Jordy's train and heading towards it,
You guys didn't see the interstate?
Bruce and his rail delivery crew are hunting down a marker showing where to lay the next curved rail.
Usually we got a stake to go by, but I got to judge myself where I got to take it to Bay Rail. Okay, work train, come to an easy stop, and I'll see where we got to tie you. There's none marked here. But you can see the Bay Rail up there. So I got to tie into some good rail. So we're going to tie in right here. Okay, work train, nice and easy.
Each rail weighs 33 tons and is as long as 4 football fields. Their extreme length makes them awkward to handle. But these massive steel rails revolutionized the railway. In the early days, lines were built from 10-meter-long pieces of rail bolted together with joint bars. Over time, as freight trains got heavier and longer, the multitude of bolted joints would loosen, opening dangerous gaps between the rails. The uneven surface made the ride rough, forcing trains to slow down or risk a derailment. By the 1960s, there was a solution. Longer rails with fewer joints so trains could run smoother and faster. The super long rails are assembled here at Canadian Pacific's plant in Winnipeg.
These are 80 feet in length. We're going to weld 18 80-foot lengths together. It'll equal 1,440 feet. What we're doing is we're producing continuous welded rail. There's going to be no joints in that rail.
The welds need to hold, so they're tested not to break until reaching 600,000 pounds of pressure. Every one has to be strong, but also smooth.
When it comes out of the welder, we're going to make sure that that weld is ground to the proper spec. This is our final quality check. He's going to verify the integrity of that rail, make sure that it's straight. So the rail comes out of our inspection building here. When rail comes out at this length, it's really like a big piece of spaghetti. We can bend that rail into almost a full circle.
Keep Keep her going, work train.
Bruce is working as fast as he can, but the next length he needs is undersized, so it needs a time-consuming cut.
I got the list here how much footage I need on this curve. That's where we make the torch cut. John, get the water pump going. Okay, get on the hose.
The crew needs to hustle
And work train, come to an easy stop.
without cutting corners.
We're always working in a dry area. This will go up just like gas. It'll catch that fast. So we water down the area that we're cutting. You don't want to burn down BC.
This spring, lightning has triggered the majority of the 100 wildfires burning in the British Columbia interior. And fire season is just getting started. In these conditions, it only takes one spark to start a fire.
Charlie, Charlie, grass burns.
On the edge of the Arctic wilderness, the Ontario Northland Railway is a critical lifeline for people who live in Canada's icy far north.
It's important, you know, they're so isolated. All the communities up the coast with the First Nations.
The train is the only way to transport essential supplies, equipment, and people back and forth.
Another 6 or 7 cars, 18.4. You got to be able to work outside in the elements and not mind doing that. There is a physical aspect to it, especially in the wintertime when things freeze. It kind of challenges every part of you.
Today in Moosonee, the crew is preparing the train to travel south to Cochran.
Just checking things.
For conductor Sheldon Renault, everyone who steps on board gets first-class care.
Did you want to go in one of the, like one of the built-in crates, or do you want, because I do have a plastic one there too, whatever you'd like. The dog is a little hesitant to get in the crate, but once we get rolling, it almost lulls them to sleep. We got some little kittens that are going out. They're going to be up for adoption, and we bring them out, and something that the ONR does with this animal welfare group. We bring them out on the train to Cochran, and somebody will pick them up and find adoption homes for them. This is a fun part of the job when we get to have the little ones with us.
And they're not the only special passengers boarding today. At the youth center in the nearby town of Moose Factory,
This would be our big drum.
Ryan Wesley is preparing to take the train to a powwow near Cochran.
A powwow is like a social gathering. It's like a time of healing through the weekend. The whole point of the drum is to get the good vibes out to everyone, right?
Ryan's drumming group is called the High Ridge Singers.
We have 11 guys that sing with us. We're all currently away from each other because attending school. Every time we meet up at a powwow, it's always really nice because we've been doing this for about 9 years, and there's a really strong relationship between every single person within our drum group.
Once Ryan and the other passengers are on board, the train will set off from Moosonee heading south, traveling 300 kilometers across the ice-packed Moose River, through the wilderness to reach Cochran, Ontario.
There's going to be a lot of people going to the powwow on the train because it's quite a big gathering, and there'll be a lot of excitement for that. This way, if they happen to get out of their little crate, they'll still be okay, and Mama can keep an eye on them. And we're off, on time.
West in the Rockies,
Oh, man.
Jordy and Tom are powering their 16,000-ton canola train through the mountains towards the town of Revelstoke. But 100 kilometers in,
Here's hoping that we can get through.
they hit a stretch of rough rail.
These trains beat the track up pretty good, and it doesn't take very long to wear the track out.
It's not going to be just as smooth as butter.
That's not reassuring.
No.
Basically, the contact point between the wheel and the rail is no bigger than a dime. Through continued passage of trains, it wears the head of the rail flat, which starts to create more friction.
And there's an even bigger obstacle ahead. the track crew delivering new rails.
Hot rail there coming at you.
Are you kidding me?
As Jordy and Tom close in,
One crazy day.
Bruce's team hurries to drop the new rail beside the track and get out of the way. They complete the cut
John, shut the pump off.
Shut the pump off.
and get moving.
How we make it, okay?
We're just dumping rail here.
How long do you expect to be?
It's a very busy line, especially the single track because it's only one track. You're down to 20 feet.
To speed things up,
They're called quick hooks.
Bruce needs to rely on an old-style technique to drop 2 super long rails in a row.
Ease her up a little more.
But it's not without risk.
If you do it too fast, it'll break right here. So you gotta go slow.
To the west of the Rocky Mountains,
You're down to 7 feet.
rail train supervisor Bruce Moores is wrestling a kilometer of steel into place.
Ease her up some more.
But he's running out of time.
Ease her up. Okay, that's nice. Keep her going, just a crawl. Keep her going, keep her going. And the hook is made, 2 for 2.
For 2.
It's done. We gotta get back a lot more and let this grain come. It's just one of those days. Freight trains are gonna make the money. That's the railroad.
They retreat to a siding just in time.
I've heard us referred to as the royal family here on the train because we wave from the window, you know.
We keep the trains moving, but if it wasn't for those folks, nothing would move.
As the snow thaws, repair efforts amp up. Ahead, this team is about to tear up the tracks to insert new wooden ties under the rails for support.
First day back on the cruise. Want to get out there and change some ties.
31-year-old Amanda Simak is a rising star on the tie gang.
Hey, good morning, everyone. We're gonna be changing roll plate ties. Expected production, 350 ties today. All right, let's have a safe day.
Marco, are we putting the truck on?
Yeah, no, that's a good idea, thank you.
I've been with CP for about 2.5 years now. Before that, I was a legal assistant.
Amanda brings that drive to work. She just jumps on machines if I tell her to, and she operates them.
Are you ready for your first stint on a tie crew?
Yes, I sure am.
Today, Carrie Watkins has been paired up with Amanda to train on the spike pullers.
Today they're going to be changing ties. This is like a big string of machines and they each have a job to do. The front machine's the puller and I'll be learning how to run the puller. It pulls the spikes out of the ground so that the ties can be pulled out from under the rail and then replaced. This is the machine you had last year, right?
I had the puller last year, yeah.
Being a woman on the railway is challenging. It's really hard work, it's physical.
When you first come out here, it's pretty difficult because you have a lot of people that think you can't do it. So you have to prove yourself.
Women have only just joined the front lines. 100 years ago, all male crews had their own challenges. Without machines, the gangs jacked up the track by hand. Using long iron rods and tongs, ties would be tugged out like bad teeth, before spikers hammered new ones into place. It was back-breaking work that today takes only minutes with machines.
I've never operated a machine on my own out on track before, so it's a little stressful. I feel kind of nervous because I'll be the front machine and everyone will be behind.
It's really up to the pullers to set the pace for the rest of the crew. It's a lot of pressure.
We gotta go.
Run out. Let's do this. Let's go.
An experienced puller can remove 10 spikes a minute.
Just trying my best to keep up to the crew and deal with the stresses around me and everything.
They say that the rules are written in blood, and I hope I don't ever have to see somebody create a new rule out here.
Oh my God!
3,000 kilometers east in northern Ontario,
I always look forward to Timmins Paw.
the Polar Bear Express is taking Ryan to an important powwow.
We usually take the train, and that's our main way of getting out of Moose Factory, because all the other ways, like a plane's expensive. Ontario Northland have been giving us complimentary tickets because what we stand for is a drum group that wants to promote a healthy lifestyle. We probably do about 10 to 12 powwows every year.
The tradition of powwows dates back thousands of years to the practice of war dances before battle. Over time, the ceremony evolved into an important social gathering that included drumming and dancing. In 1876, the Canadian government outlawed the ceremony until Native groups restored it in the 1950s as part of their cultural heritage.
We're just coming up to Moose River Bridge. That's why we're slowing down to go over the bridge here. And we're gonna take a look and see how the ice is breaking up. It can have a devastating effect on the shoreline. None of this was here yesterday. This is all new. In some years, it really affects the bridge pillars. It looks to me like building up around the pillars, there have been years when they've had to dynamite the ice because they didn't think it was gonna break up properly.
If the ice breaks up in huge half-ton chunks, they can push against the bridge supports with extreme force. Dynamite has long been the only way to break the ice into smaller pieces that won't damage the bridge.
Hopefully we're okay to go over it and be able to do track speed and not be late.
In British Columbia's Selkirk Mountains,
It's gonna be a good ride.
Jordy and Tom are making good time.
Doing a bang-up job.
Well, thanks, Tom. How's my driving, though?
You're not over, it's all good.
I enjoy working with Tom. He knows what he's doing, and he's earned his nickname, 20-year Tom. He's only got a few years in here, and it's like working with a veteran. I'm trying to make you look good, buddy.
Yeah, it's all good.
I've been called the Jedi, and I'm not sure why.
The train force is strong with him.
Yes, I think it has to do with the train force, which is strong with this one.
Just ahead of the Millennium Falcon, the Thai gang is hard at it.
It's go, 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 all the time.
In the lead, Amanda and Carrie are under pressure to help replace 350 wooden ties in 8 hours.
You don't want to slow the crew down. You don't want to slow down production.
To change ties efficiently, an army of 15 machines must work in perfect unison, a process they call lockstep. 2 spike pullers set the pace, extracting 4 spikes from every tie. The scrap loader rolls up hot on their heels. It has a magnetic belt that collects the old spikes. 2 powerful tie inserters follow closely behind. They pull out the old ties and push in new ones. Next in line, a brigade of 8 machines clean, compact, and fix the new ties into place. A final machine, the regulator, then regrades the track bed to finish the job.
Every machine has its purpose.
But just as the rookie closes in on her goal,
The machine just turned itself off.
the operation grinds to a halt.
Who knows if it'll even start again.
West of the Canadian Rockies.
You can see here the track's been all dug up.
Jordy and Tom are closing in on the tie gang work zone.
Clear to medium there, Tom.
Yeah, clear to medium signal. Weather and mountain conditions has a huge effect on this track.
Yeah, now the springs here, everything's going from a frozen state to a thawing state. And then the ties split, the track gets out of gauge, and the potential for derailment is always there. So you got to really be careful.
8766 west.
I'm going to slow it down a bit.
Stop to Wakely.
Just ahead,
We got about 15 machines waiting to go to work.
mechanics arrive to try to get Carrie and the rest of the tie operation back up and running.
It looked to me like it came out of here.
Yeah, it's split right there.
Okay, yeah.
The whole goal is to get the work done, but don't hold trains. We're here to make sure that trains can run. That's our business, right?
They race to replace a faulty hydraulic hose.
There's a coil that shorted out inside, and it started burning, but she didn't realize it. Basically, it just started going up in smoke.
The moment of truth. Everything's fixed. It started fine, so I can finally get on with things. Are you good to go? Yeah, I'm good. Okay.
As the crew gets moving again, Amanda pitches in to help Carrie catch up.
Should I continue on the left, over? On the left. Okay, thank you.
Friendships on the railway are so important. They get you through a lot of hard days.
Job is done.
Okay, you're all finished. Everybody travel into the clear, travel safe, over.
Okay, on the move.
They need to clear their machines off the track fast so Jordy and Tom's train can pass.
We cleared up just on time and 15 seconds to spare. Today's a good day.
It makes our day longer when they start doing track work. You know, I want to get home, so does Tom, but you know, the track has to be repaired, right?
Yeah.
In Ontario's far north,
Our temperatures are good in the coaches.
the Ontario Northland train has just crossed the Moose River Bridge on its way to Cochran.
Want to make sure everything's good on the train. Just checking the bathrooms, make sure that nothing's wrong.
And Sheldon needs to check on a hockey game.
We have to call the rail traffic control, check the score of the game.
RTC? Yeah, for the start of the Montreal game, Sheldon, like, you know. I'll check and call you back in a few. All right, thanks.
RTC's
Okay,
gonna call us
thanks.
back and let me know the score of the Montreal game. Hockey's the lifeblood of Canada, really. You ask anybody, especially Northern Ontario, it's huge. So this is our new coach, Coach 650, with our monitoring systems. Everything's telling us it's good, but we still have to test it, just so that we know everything's working properly. Tempo okay, it's gonna run through all the wheels on this coach. If the danger light's on, it means there's something wrong with the wheel. We're gonna stop the train, check the wheels. And everything's normal and everything's good, temperatures are good.
Doing 18 outboard.
And here's our highlight from the half game.
Montreal 2-1, just about to start in second.
That's really good news for us. All our monitoring systems are working and the Montreal Canadiens are winning at the moment. So far so good on this trip. We're about 3 miles out of town.
One last bridge,
Nice 4-hour ride, yeah.
and they pull into Cochran.
The kittens are here. Hopefully they can find adoptive homes for them. Well, the little ones are in here. Good? Excellent. To be a railroader, it means you get to see a lot of places and meet a lot of people, but you don't usually get to watch too much hockey, so I'll have to maybe rush home and get to catch some overtime.
South of the Cochran train station in Timmins, Ontario.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, for the 16th annual Northern College Provincial Powwow, we call upon our host drum, Highland Singers.
Ryan Wesley has finally made it to the ceremony to be reunited with his drum group.
Now the powwow is underway. You get to see different styles of dancing.
Every dancer tells a story, narrated by the singing and drumming circle.
I haven't seen the majority of the guys for about 5 months, and it's really nice to be able to sing together. It really makes the powwow a good place to be.
The train has brought them together, but it's their traditions that keep them connected. – 3,000 kilometers west.
It's downhill all the way to Revelstoke.
Jordy and Tom are coasting towards their last destination.
This is a job where you always need to be in control all the time. It's almost like a beast you have to tame.
It is, yeah.
And Jordy's got all these little tricks that you can't learn from anybody else. He's forthcoming with the information, and stuff like that really helps out.
Well, thank you, Tom. That was nice.
Hey, no, there is some legitimacy to that. It helps me out, you know, to make me a better railroader, as I'm sure guys previously have helped him to make him a better railroader.
It's a team effort all the time. Feels good to be getting home. We've had a long day, but the grain's in good shape. We made it through the Rockies, some of the nastiest, treacherous terrain in Canada, but we're going to see the lights of Revelstoke here shortly, so our day is pretty much done. We're going to hand it off to another crew who's going to take it onwards to Vancouver. Job well done.
After a further 600 kilometers, the train pulls into Vancouver's port. Workers transfer all 16,000 tons of grain into the ship's massive hull.
Just tell them to start slow. That's it there. Beautiful.
This delivery will head to markets as far away as Asia. Canadian Pacific's heavy haul canola train has done its job. Thanks to hard-working crews who've kept the railroad running, they've dodged a broken-down locomotive, along with weathered and worn-down track across the mountains.
I'm very proud to do what I do.
We're operating some of the biggest machinery that moves across the face of the earth. It's a pretty neat feeling to be given the responsibility to operate such a massive piece of equipment.
Best job in the world.